It's been over 50 years, but humans are finally heading back to circle the moon with the Artemis II mission. And the most amazing part of this whole thing isn't just that we're going, it's how they're coming back. So let's break down the absolutely stunning and elegant physics behind the return trip.
Okay, let me just start with a question for you. What if the one thing we all think we know about looping around the moon is just flat out wrong? What if that epic slingshot move you've seen in all the movies is actually one giant, beautiful, cosmic illusion?
All right, first things first, the journey itself. We're going to look at this maneuver that has totally captured our imaginations for decades, and the big illusion that's right at the heart of it.
Now, when you look at that flight path, your brain probably does exactly what mine did. You assume the ship flies out to the moon's gravity kind of grabs it, whips it around, and then just flings it back to Earth. Like a giant cosmic slingshot. It just seems so intuitive, doesn't it?
And yeah, it sounds totally epic. But here's the thing. From a physics standpoint, that's not what's happening. At all. That whole powerful slingshot idea, it's got to be one of the greatest misconceptions in spaceflight. The real story? Oh, it's so much cooler. So if the moon isn't this giant slingshot, then what is getting the spacecraft home? Well, the secret is that all the real work happens way, way earlier, right at the beginning of the trip. As you're about to see, Earth is the real boss here. It all comes down to one critical moment, the Trans-Lunar Injection, or TLI for short. This is the moment that defines everything. It's one big, powerful push from the engines while the spacecraft is still close to Earth. This isn't just about blasting off towards the moon. No, this single burn sets up the entire round trip right from the get-go.
So here's what's so critical to understand. That one TLI burn gives Orion this huge boost of speed, stretching its orbit out into this massive long ellipse. Think of it like stretching a cosmic rubber band. That burn provides all the energy the ship needs to not only get out to the moon, but also to make sure it comes all the way back.
And this is the part that will absolutely blow your mind. This quote really says it all. Get this. After that one big push, if you could just, poof, make the moon disappear entirely, the Orion spacecraft would still fly out 400,000 kilometers, slow down at the top of its arc, and then fall right back to Earth. And why? Because it never actually escaped Earth's gravity in the first place. Earth is in charge the whole time.
Now, I know this might sound a little weird, but stick with me, because a super simple, everyday analogy is going to make this all click into place. Okay, I want you to picture this. You're outside and you throw a baseball straight up, as high as you possibly can. You give it that one big push with your arm, and then you just let go and watch what happens. This is the perfect analogy for what's happening. Your throw, that's the TLI burn. The ball goes up and up, fighting gravity, getting slower and slower until it hits its peak. That's basically Orion, slowing down as it reaches the peak of its journey, way out by the moon. And then what happens to the ball? Right. Gravity takes over and it falls right back down to you. Orion is doing the exact same thing, just on a much, much bigger scale. The whole trip is basically one long, elegant 10-day fall back home. Okay, so if the ship is already on a path to fall back to Earth, why even bother going near the moon at all? What's its role in all this? Right. It's the most logical question. If the return ticket is already punched from the start, why is this called a free return trajectory that uses the moon? Well, the moon's job isn't about brute force. It's all about precision. So let's get this straight. The moon is not a cosmic engine. As Orion sails past, the moon's gravity gives it a gentle but very important nudge. It's less like a slingshot and more like a master watchmaker making one tiny, perfect adjustment. That little nudge is just enough to slightly bend Orion's path, fine-tuning its course so it hits Earth's atmosphere at the exact right angle for a safe re-entry. And it does all of this without using a single drop of extra fuel. It's just beautifully efficient.
So what's the big takeaway here? When you put all the pieces together, you realize this isn't a story about brute force at all. It's a story of incredible scientific elegance.
I love this quote because it just says it all. The Artemis II mission is like a beautiful dance with physics. It just goes to show that the smartest way to travel through space isn't to fight the universe's fundamental forces, but to understand them so well that you can use them. You're not fighting gravity, you're learning to surf it.
And that really leaves you thinking. This incredibly elegant solution for getting home from the moon was figured out more than half a century ago. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? As we start looking towards Mars and even beyond, what's the next beautiful physics puzzle we're going to solve out there in the cosmos?